Welcome to Gray Load. Now, I don't really understand what Microsoft's trying to do with Windows, and it's getting weirder every single day. Maybe Microsoft's trying to make us forget how bad they've been trying to implement stuff into Windows and annoying us with ads and everything else and changing start menus, etc. Having bad search. I could go on, but they also, came out with the Snapdragon only stuff, and that's trying to make us, hey, let's go to this and have a horrible experience. That's what it is right now, in my opinion. Yeah, hopefully Microsoft can iron it out, but we still have Intel, AMD going to release processors. They should still get the same treatment as Snapdragon. Well, maybe not. We don't want to go that direction quite yet here. Maybe we should see improvements. But then you also have Microsoft polling local, accounts, tutorials, or what are they call them here? Guides. That's a probably a better word for this. Is Microsoft's pulling those guides of how to switch from the Microsoft account to a local account after they are forcing you and throwing it in your face and everything else. I kind of feel that Microsoft doesn't have a direction. They talk about how good a Microsoft account is, um, and Microsoft recommends a local or Microsoft account over the local account because it allows you for seamless integrations into Microsoft services. It's chance enhanced security and sync across devices. Well, Microsoft, that's only partially true if you want to go off of that. Should we dig in Microsoft just a little bit here? Did you or did you not take away my sync of my desktop across devices on the Microsoft account? You did there. So sync across devices, Microsoft is, in my opinion, still broken until you fix that. And making it more seamless. There's so many things that don't sync well across devices. I do use a Microsoft account, but there's instances where I use a local account, and I could go on and on to Microsoft about how the local or how about the Microsoft account is not working properly. Enhanced security, what? Having a online Microsoft service account attack vector enabled into your account to your PC is enhanced security. And I'm going on about this, but there was things, I can't remember who I heard it from or where I read it. I want to say it was Paul Thurrott, and from Thurrott.com, or a tweet of his where Microsoft was hoping that the ARM is a way to get away from the Intel and put like a new direction on Windows and to show off, hey, it's not part of that old legacy and has the same issues of that. I just don't see how Microsoft is going to attack this and deliver on it. I feel like Microsoft, I see what Microsoft's doing here. We have bad reviews overall. I think they're bad reviews. I think the people that gave glowing reviews are trying to put sugar on a, well, I'll leave out that word. Put sugar on something that is not sweet at all and make it look good here. And Microsoft, you have to get back to, working at making Windows good. Not even great, just good. Your scheduler is junk. There's so much more you could do with the schedule and make that rounded out. There's a lot of overhead here. Let's go with gaming. I'm a software developer, so I get to work on some pretty heavy working pieces of software, or I get to develop with it, and the overhead that Microsoft has in Windows can drive a person crazy to be able to do that. And let's get a gaming scenario working quite well. You have this game bar, but that shouldn't be. You should be able to launch a game, and it should just have the skim down, let all the power go to your game. There are, an all-purpose computing device here. I feel like Microsoft is moving further away from the consumer and getting closer to making sure that they can capitalize on whatever money there is left out of the user, instead of making sure that the Windows product is usable. We look at the ads in the start menu. We look at having the start menu in the center. Well, some people may be okay with it. I think it should. You can move it back to where it should be, and that's where I put it even if it was a touch device. It just seems to work better in that position for me, for my many years of going over to the bottom left for the start menu. There, there is a lot of things I think are missing here. Microsoft just chipping away at, let's say, taking away a local account or trying to force you down that road, I think is going to be an antitrust violation at some point to some country. Um, they can argue any which way with different computer devices, but it to me, it's just it eventually here Microsoft, instead of improving with the consumer, you don't need ads in the start menu, you don't need ads everywhere. You need to make the Windows to be a device. If there's an ad in an app, that's a little bit different, but ads in the OS are just need to stop. There needs to be, you need to get back to just being an OS that is very reliable and good and that can always work, rather than adding all these other things on top. Copilot Plus may be a good idea, but is it something that is going to work well and not annoy me? So far, it's something that annoys me. And I don't know, to me, I don't know if this is going to be something to take off, because why should I go and jump on a Microsoft service? You went down this Microsoft and now you're going to get it. Here is, will Copilot still be around and relevant and still be something in OS that you can still use and something I should start using because of that? Or is it something that Microsoft's going to pull? And Microsoft has already started to do certain things where they pull features out of the OS, deprecate them, remove them, everything else, that I have gone back to where it is, I guess a third-party application is going to be the one I use, the one I choose, because I cannot trust that Microsoft will not do something stupid and screw something up, make it worse, remove it. And so the third-party application, maybe somebody that specializes in the application or doesn't have that history, is going down that road. You went down the same road as Google, and look what it's getting you. And I think that is the sentiment from many people that at least I interact with, is that they normally default to a third party that's not Microsoft when they're looking for something, because of Microsoft's history of this in and out. And more and more people are getting frustrated with Windows. It's not something that ARM is going to be able to change. I don't care what Microsoft thinks about that. You have to make the OS better. You have to start fixing the core of the product, instead of hoping everything you add on top of it will make the product be likable again. You got to work at the foundation of your product, Microsoft. You have to make the foundation be stable before you start adding everything else on top, and hoping that everything looks good enough that people will just want to use it and for what it looks like and not how it operates. And I'm seeing more and more of a sentiment of this, especially online and in person. People are getting more and more frustrated, and Microsoft only has one person to blame on, or one entity to blame in all this, and that's themselves. I don't know what they're deciding on all these engineering and development side of things, but it's not for the betterment of the OS and of the user, and the decision people that are making. I'm fully certain that if you were to tell the engineers, we need something more robust, we need to work on this, we're going to put effort into making sure that we are getting a stable, something that people like, the engineers will be able to code it up. I'm fully certain that they're capable of that. It's just the decisions that are going into it are just mind-boggling, of where Microsoft wants to go with Windows itself. And you could have made an OS here that a lot of people were supportive and liked, and something to really jump on here and really take off more and cement it against Linux. And I think what's happening is that the missteps that Microsoft has, because they have lost focus in Windows in general, is meaning that all these Linux opportunities are presenting themselves for competition to creep in. And I think that Microsoft is going to be in for a rude awakening in one of these years, where Linux has an opportunity to really take off or take a stranglehold in a market that they weren't anticipating. And so, hopefully, as I go through and I read different things about Microsoft and, what is happening here, I really hope that they get back to, you get to choose Microsoft account or not. We're not going to push stuff on you. The whole pushiness stuff is not is not a good aspect, right? Microsoft even had that failure where the update failed to install because of the secure boot BitLocker. It was for secure boot BitLocker, but you needed to expand one of the partitions, and that I had to fix on a couple machines, and because they couldn't fix it in an update. And there's these missteps. We've had updates where they've had issues here, and maybe Microsoft will be able to get on top of this and straighten it out. But right now, I don't think their direction is to straighten it out. I think the direction is hopefully ARM PCs with Copilot Plus and everything else will make us get by this, and people will forget about it. The problem is that a lot of the things that people complain about are still, well, all the things I would say people complain about are still in the ARM PC too, and you're not having fixed those yet. So updates, need to be more robust. Need to make sure that they're testing on them. You have insiders. I'm an insider. I run it on my PC. Pretty much it works. But there are times where I will report stuff, and I hope it gets back to somebody, because there are oddities, especially with drivers and stuff like this, that do need to be fixed. I run on an Intel laptop, 12th gen, for the insider stuff. But those are things that Microsoft should be working on, getting better, getting more, stability out of that, making the kernel work better, especially with these hybrid architectures. And if Microsoft could do that, I think that there would be a lot of opportunity, battery life, all this other stuff that you can do in the OS, that you can make it run more efficiency, not have 50 billion processes for no reason. There's things here that Microsoft could do to make people be like, you know what? They are serious about it. They're serious about privacy. They put the privacy first and start, making sure, there's not so much data sent all over the place. We're eliminating what needs to be sent because it's not needed. These are things, Microsoft, that if you were to able to do, you'd have a better, people would be more open and more lenient, supporting something for more than, a couple of years of nobody using it because they're too afraid to start using it until you decide to rip it out anyways. So hopefully this is this is something if you want to comment below, if you have the same sentiments here, maybe Microsoft is going to start looking at this stuff and making us a little bit better OS here. But I'm always for better gaming OS, better lower overhead, because I think that there's an opportunity there that Microsoft can actually extract some more performance out of these computers that we have, rather than running all this other stuff that we don't need. There's tools like what is it, Chris Titus Tech. He has a tool there that kind of strips down Windows, makes it run better. But these are things that Microsoft should seriously take a look at, all these tools that people are using, and be like, why are people using these tools? How can we make sure that maybe we get something better for people to use? Because a lot of this stuff and a lot of things that people use on their computer, guess what? They don't actually, do much more than what they need to on the computer, and everything else is extra. And it's just bloatware that is not needed. And maybe, that's where you leverage the Windows Store, where people can install the stuff that they actually do need. Make that better. We'll see. There's a lot there, but leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Grave Alone and helping this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, watch another one of my videos, as it really does help with the channel. Until next time, God bless.